राधाकान्तं नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये ॐ वृन्दावै तुलसी देवै प्रिया वै केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्तवत्तै नमो नमः भक्ताविहीना अपराधलक्ष्मी क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयित्वं शरणं प्रपन्नं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं 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 जामि राधं अरविन्दनेत्रं स्मरामि राधां मधुरस्मितास्यं वदामि राधां करुणावराद्रं ततो नमस्ते गतिर्न कापि श्यामसुन्दर शिखण्ड शेखर स्मेरहास मुरली मनोहरम् राधिका रसिकमं कृपानिधे सप्रिया चरण किङ्करीं कुरु संविदादसनतिनं विभो प्रार्थये ब्रजमेन्द्रनन्दनं वस्तु मोनतपाद्रिवल्लभा जन्म जन्मनि मदेश्वरी प्रियं प्राणनाथ विषवानुनन्दिनी श्रीमुखाब्जरसलोलसटपदम् राधिका पदतरीकृता स्थितिं तं भजामि रसिकेन्द्रशेखरं वंशीविभूषितकरान्नवनीरदाभा पीताम्बराधरं बिम्बफलादृष्टा पूर्णेन्दु सुन्दरमुखादरविन्दा कृष्णात् परमतत्त्वं किमपि अहं न जाने न विजाते राज्यं न जनकमाणिक्यं न विवं न जाते ब्रह्मं सर्वजनकं परोपदुर्लभे सदा काले काले प्रभुति चले जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु देवी काकुवरगदगदयद्वाच चाचिनी पत्ते भुवि दण्डवोद्घटात् अस्य प्रसादमुदस्य जनस्य कृत्वा गन्धर्विदे विजगणे गणनां विदे अङ्गास्याङ्गुलिविचटां चट्टं विराजोगुणरोचिषं पट्टम्बरस्य श्रियं राधास्कन्दनिवेशरोज्जलो भुजं धैर्यं स्तुतामोदरं तवैवास्मि न जीवामि तया विना इति विज्ञाय ते राधे तं नयामि चरणान्तिके श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि श्री गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 पाद पद्मों नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर सतस्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत शिला वामन गोस्वामी महाराज एवं नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर सतस्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत शिला नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज जी के अभय चरण कमल में अनंत कोटि साष्टांग दंडवत ज्ञापन करता हूँ। तत्पश्चात नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर सतनाम भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज एवं नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर सतनाम भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोस्वामी महाराज के चरण कमल में अनंत साष्टांग दिया। तदनंतर उपस्थित मातृवृंद गौरगत सज्जनवृंद हरि कथा पिपासु श्रोतृवृंद सभियों की चरण कमलों में मेरा यथायथा दंडवत प्रणाम स्वीकार हो। आज श्रीमद् भागवत कथा की षष्ठ दिवस है, छठवां दिवस।
Today is the sixth day of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday we discussed some of the pastimes of Krishna, where Krishna, where he is completely absorbed in the parental rasa of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba, and by performing these various beautiful pastimes he gives pleasure to the devotees. As mentioned in Damodar Ashtakam, Satyavrata Muni says in Padma Purana that iti drigaswarila virananda kunde, that in the pastime of Krishna being tied to the motor, it says iti drigaswarila, means in this manner, by performing various childhood pastimes, the Brajvasis would receive so much of pleasure, right from stealing butter and various other enchanting pastimes were performed and would give pleasure to devotees. So Lord himself, who establishes all the path of religion, he comes to kill the demons and subdue the demons. And along with that, Krishna, he killed so many demons during his childhood. Putana, the cart demon, and delivered so many other demons. So yesterday we heard about this in a very brief manner. And then Shukdev Goswami also spoke about the pastimes of other pastimes which took place in Braj. The meaning of Braj is where everything is constantly moving. Braj means which is constantly moving, because the livelihood of Brajvasis is taking care of cows. So wherever there is fresh green grass available, wherever there is fresh green grass gets finished, they move on to some other place. So they move from one place to the another, where they would find fresh green grass. So it is mentioned that they were staying in Nanda Maharaj.
Jai Siddhanta Maharaj ki jai. Jai Siddhanta Maharaj ki jai. ब्रजयति चलयति गमयति इति ब्रज। वे लोग पहले नंदगांव में रहने लगे और उस नंदगांव में केसी आदि देखते थे।
First, they were staying in in Nandagaon, and then when Keshi and the demons were bringing so much of turbulence in Brajmandal, in Nandagaon, they left Nandagaon and then they moved to Gokul, and then from Gokul they came to Chatikara, and then they moved to Kamevan. So all this is mentioned in Garg Samhita. In a very detailed manner it is mentioned. So Krishna, he gives pleasure to his devotees and to the Brajvasis. Yesterday there were many pastimes which were spoken yesterday. So in an indirect manner, Shukadeva Goswami spoke about the birth pastime of Srimati Radharani.
क्योंकि यद्यपि श्रीमद् भागवत
However, in
में
Srimad Bhagavatam,
राधा आदि गोपियों की
the
नाम
name of Radharani and other gopis is not mentioned directly. However,
क्यों नहीं है इसके भी
but
कारण
the reason behind that,
आचार्य
the acharyas have given commentary on this one. They have thrown light why Srimati Radharani's name is not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because when Shukadeva Goswami Pad, he was singing Srimad Bhagavatam, at that time, his worshipable deity, Shukadeva Goswami's guru, is Srimati Radharani and other gopis. So if he would remember Srimati Radharani, he would faint for 6 months. And here he had to speak Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. So it was not possible for him to speak a pastime to Srimati Radharani in a direct manner and other gopis in those 7 days, because he had to speak Bhagavatam in a particular phase of time. But in an indirect manner, he spoke about the pastimes. So, however, along with that, our acharyas also mentioned that when we go and talk about the intimate pastimes of Radharani and gopis, so at that time the gopis and Radharani, they appeared in front of Shukadeva Goswami, and they themselves told Shukadeva Goswami not to mention their name directly, because there are many unqualified people who are in the assembly. So if there are unqualified people who cannot understand these intimate pastimes, it is not advised. So by the order of Srimati Radharani and other gopis who are his guru, Shukadeva Goswami spoke about Radharani and gopis, but in an indirect manner, not directly.
अच्छी तरह से बात चलो सुखदेव गोस्वामी यहाँ पर स्पष्टीकरण कर दिया रमा क्रीड़ा अभुन हे राजन कृष्ण ब्रज में प्रकट होने के साथ ही साथ
So when Krishna appeared in Braj Mandal,
रमा क्रीड़ा रमा जनी लक्ष्मी होता है क्योंकि यहाँ पर रमा शब्द के
the place Rama Krida, and that means when after Krishna's birth, the Braj Mandal become the playing ground of Rama Krida. Rama means Lakshmi, but actually here Rama means Srimati Radharani. So the same Srimati Radharani, she appeared in Braj Mandal. So those who are intelligent, they can understand. Those who have, but those agyanis, those who are ill-knowledgeable, yogis, karmis, and other people who are not qualified. So such things cannot manifest in front of unqualified people, because in pure devotees, automatically these pastimes manifest, just like a blossoming lotus flower. So in that Braj Mandal, Shri Radharani is called Sarva Lakshmi Mai. She is the master of all the opulences. And after Krishna's birth, she appeared there, and it kind of became her playground. So our scriptures say that without Radharani, there is wherever there is Radharani, there is Krishna, and wherever there is Krishna, there is Radharani. They are both inseparable. They are both one and the same. So in Braj Mandal, they say that without Radharani, Krishna is half. Krishna is not complete. So our acharyas have thrown light on those shlokas where Srimati Radharani's birth pastime is very clearly mentioned. So yesterday I narrated that pastime of how Srimati Radharani appeared in this kalpa in Raval, which is nearby Gokul, because Nanda Maharaj and Vishwanu Maharaj, they are very bosom friends, very intimate friends. And wherever Nanda Maharaj stays, Sri Vishwanu Maharaj would stay nearby. This is the pattern which we saw that when Nanda Maharaj was staying in Nandagaon at Nandishwar Parvat, Vishwanu Maharaj stayed at Barsana at Brahma Parvat. So that's Barsana. So when Nanda Maharaj moved from Nandagaon to Gokul, and then Vishwanu Maharaj moved to Raval along with all of his associates. So then when Nanda Maharaj left Gokul and moved to Chhatikara, Then at that time, Vishwanu Maharaj moved from Raval. There's a place called a village called Ral village. This is on the way to Govardhan. So wherever Nand Maharaj moved, Shri Vishwanu Maharaj would always stay nearby in a nearby village because they are bosom friends. So Vaishnava is very beautifully described that in Brajmandal such sweet pastimes are manifest. Such sweet pastimes take place in Braj, and these Krishna is not only the son of Nanda Maharaj. All the associates and all the residents of Brajmandal, they have such a deep attachment and mindness towards Krishna that even up till now, if one goes to Nandagaon even now, all the Nandagaon villagers, they still consider Krishna to be as his son, and all the villagers of Barsana, they consider Srimati Radhika Rani as their daughter. So that sort of mindness and attachment which they have towards Radha and Krishna, and they have such deep attachment towards them that Radharani actually got married to Krishna. That's what the local Brajvasis think. So even up till now, the people of Barsana, they do not even drink water of Nandagaon, because according to the Vedic tradition, where the daughter is given, where the daughter gets married, the family of the daughter, they do not take anything from the house of the bridegroom. So Gurudev used to speak a particular pastime, but there was once a landlord who had fields, and during a very hot weather one time, he was plowing the fields, and finally, since it was pretty hot, that person reached Nandagaon, because that person was feeling so thirsty, and he almost fainted. But as Nandagaon villagers wanted to offer him water, but he said that no, I would not take this water. So this is a tradition that a family of a bride never takes anything from the house of a bridegroom. So I always speak a particular pastime related to this. That there was once a rich person who used to reside in Barsana. He was very wealthy, and he had three sons, and all the three sons were well educated, and all the three sons got married. So the daughter-in-law, all three of them were very mature, and they would serve both mother-in-law and father-in-law very nicely. As the time passed by, what happened? That the wife of that rich person left body. So once there was a saint who arrived at that house, and seeing the saintly personality, this businessman, he started crying. This merchant started crying, and he said that I have everything at my home. I have three sons, and all three daughter-in-law of mine are very well educated, and they perform the household duties very nicely. They also serve Thakurji very nicely. All of my three sons are well educated, and they take care of my business very nicely. I have no lacking, but there is one little teeny bit of sadness which is in my heart, that I wish I had a daughter. Because in this world, some people who have daughter, they want to have a son, and some people have son, but they want to have a daughter. So as per the standard of the material world, he was thinking that my wife is gone, that I have a shop, and after I do my business and I go back home, though my daughter-in-law is serving very nicely, but it's not easy to have a very casual relationship or a laughing relationship with the daughter-in-law. So in order to have a very intimate relationship, he was thinking that probably he had a daughter. So that saint said, saint said to that merchant that you're very fortunate that after a long time one gets the opportunity to take birth in Braj. It is said that he said in Brajmandal there is a wonderful poetry which is sung by the local people that one is very fortunate if one goes out of Braj. And anyone who is born in Braj as a cow and born in Braj as a girl, so when by misfortune they go out, so generally because Lord Brahma and Lord Shivji they also want to remain in Brajmandal. Lord Brahma he took birth. He appeared as Brahmachal Parvat in Barsana, and nearby there is a Vishnu Parvat in Barsana, and Lord Shivji he appeared as Nandishwar Parvat in Nandagaon. So when such great personalities are desiring to have birth in Braj, anyone who takes birth in Braj and goes outside is extremely fortunate. So that saint was giving all this siddhanta to that saint, to that merchant, that you are born in Braj, you have the greatest of fortune. So why do you feel sorrow? Why do you feel the lack? But then that saint said, I understand that, but still I have the desire to have a daughter. Then the saint said, oh, in this Barsana, everyone considers Srimati Radharani as their daughter. So all of you Brajvasis, you must sing out loudly. So that saint gave a beautiful picture of Sri Radharani to that merchant and asked him to consider that picture of Radharani as a daughter. So, and he also instructed that every day when you go to sleep, you should kiss that, you should embrace that picture, and just like one cuddles to one's daughter, similarly you should have love and affection for this picture as your daughter. So every day, this merchant at the end of each day, he would embrace that picture and he would kiss that picture, considering that that's one of his daughters. So it is seen that whatever kind of mood we sleep in, we have that sort of dreams. He said, Maharaj, I go to the Western countries and I see that people give so much of food and take care of dogs. So when they sleep, they see dogs in their dream. So whatever activities we perform all throughout the day, the dreams would be according to that mood. So that saint would, that merchant, every day, would embrace that beautiful picture of Radharani, and every day Srimati Radharani would appear in his dream. One day what happened that in Braj there are many festivals. They come as each day passing by. Many festivals come in Braj Mandal. So those three daughters-in-law, one day they said to the merchant that, "Hey father, we would like to have new bangles." So, and the merchant said, "I'll tell the bangle seller to come to your house, and then you can choose the nice pair of bangles for yourself." So as the merchant was on his way to his shop, on the way he met the bangle seller and asked him to come to the house. So in the and said in the afternoon, when all the household chores are finished, you should go to my house and show nice bangles to my three daughters-in-law, because they would like to buy new bangles. And then also he instructed that you sell them the bangles, give them the bangles, and when it ends, I'll pay you. So around 6:30 in the evening, once you give the bangles to them, come to me by 6:30 at my shop, and I'll give you the money. The bangle seller was instructed like this. So in the afternoon time, that bangle seller came to the house of that merchant. So the three daughters-in-laws, they extended their arms. That the women in Braj, they cover their head, with a big veil. Even in the village you go, Because nowadays, everyone has become a heroine when they see television, and no one covers their head. But if you go to a village in Brajmandal, you would see that their heads are covered. So all the three daughter-in-laws, they extended their arms, and as per the desire, and whatever color they wanted, they chose the bangles. And then the bangle seller, I gave bangles to all three of them. But then after those three daughter-in-law bought the bangles, there was one little girl which appeared, very beautiful smile with wonderful sidelong glances, and she also extended her arm. The bangle seller thought probably that's one of their relatives, so that bangle seller also gave bangles to that particular little girl, as per the desire of the little girl. So after giving bangles to three daughter-in-law and to one girl, he went to the shop of the merchant and asked him to pay him a particular sum of money. The merchant said, "Why are you asking so money?" Then the bangle seller said, "I'm not taking any profit. This is just my labor, because I went to a house and I gave bangles to 4 ladies." Then the merchant said, "No, it seems like you're charging more." The bangle seller said, "No, I'm not charging, because I've given bangles to 4. Then the merchant said, "Well, I've only 3 daughter-in-law. There are no 4 women in my house, because my wife has left the body many years ago." So the bangle seller said that, "You told me that you have 3 women at your house, but I went there were 4. So the merchant said, "I'm gonna give you money for 3, and I'm gonna inquire who is the 4th person who took bangles from you." So the bangle seller were also simple-hearted. He accepted the money for 3, and that merchant, after giving the money for 3 set of bangles, he came back to his house. So when he came back to his house, he was very tired. So the daughter-in-law, they fed him very nice prasadam was served. And then he asked that, "Did the bangle seller come?" They said, "Yeah, he came, and he gave us very nice bangles." The saint was very tired. So when he was about to go to sleep, every day, as he would, embrace the picture of Radharani and would kiss the picture of Radharani, he would see that there were some bangles which were right next to that picture. He was thinking that probably my daughter-in-law have left these bangles. So that night, when that merchant slept, after an hour or two, when he was in deep sleep, every day Sri Radharani would come. Srimati Radharani would appear in his dream. Every day she would appear. But today, many hours passed by, but Radharani hasn't come in the dream. Every day, it was just a matter of time. The moment the merchant would close his eyes, Radharani's picture would appear in his heart, but today it was not coming. Such a beautiful transcendental form would appear in his heart with a wonderful smile on her face. But today, many hours passed by, but then her appearance hasn't manifested in the heart. So the merchant was thinking that he was turning sides. So as he went into sleep just a bit, he saw in the dream that Radharani has entered into a sulky mood, and she's weeping and she's sobbing, and she's sitting in the corner. And Radharani is not coming closer to the saint, to the merchant. So the merchant said, "Every day you come to me and call me as your father. Why aren't you coming close to me today? What happened?" But Radharani was sobbing and weeping. When I used to learn Sanskrit, there was one shloka which I used to read. Is it if one has loving attachment towards someone, you know, one's face becomes enlightened, and there's a wonderful smile rise on one's face. But here Radharani has so much of love and affection for this merchant, but Radharani's head is down, and she's weeping. She's not looking towards the merchant, and then this merchant was asking, "What happened? Why aren't you looking towards me?" But after a lot of persistence, Radharani came closer to. There is a song in Braj. They say, "Oh, you have made me your daughter, but you haven't fulfilled the responsibility of a father." In such a sweet manner, he said, "You accepted me as your daughter, but then you remember your 3 daughter-in-law, but then you don't remember your own daughter." With such loving, sweet words. So he said, you have paid for the bangle for three of your daughter-in-law, but not me. So Radharani was upset with that. So when that merchant heard this wonderful words of Srimati Radharani, it's all happening in a dream. The saint, he started crying. The merchant, he started crying very badly. He said, "Oh, I remembered these 3 daughter-in-law." Because that saint who gave the picture to that merchant said that you should consider Sri Radharani as your daughter. So here Radharani was complaining. Then that merchant said, "I'm really sorry. Please come to me. Please come closer to me." So as this merchant was requesting her over and over again, Radharani came closer, and the merchant gave her a tight embraced her very tightly. And the merchant said, "From now onwards, I'm not going to commit any of such mistakes in the future." So his eyes became wet with tears. So when he opened his eyes, when he woke up from sleep, he remembered the entire dream. And that merchant went to that bangle seller and he knocked the door. It was a bit dark in the morning, it was Brahma Muhurta hour. So that bangle seller said to that merchant that, "Say, bangle seller, you're so fortunate because you have given bangle to Srimati Radharani. I'll give you whatever money you ask, whatever money you want, I'll give it to you." So then that bangle seller said, "I don't want anything." He said, "She's not only your daughter, she's my daughter." He said, from a bangle seller, even a sweeper also considers the one who goes and sweeps at different houses. She also considers Srimati Radharani to be as their daughter. That's the love and affection and the mood which the Brajvasis have towards her. Then that bangle seller said, "I don't want money. Because she's also my daughter." But the merchant said, "Until unless you accept the money, my Radharani, my daughter, won't be happy." So the bangle seller accepted the money, and that merchant came back to his house, and he saw that today, that right next to the picture which was given by the saint, all those bangles which were placed, now those bangles were not there anymore, as if Radharani has worn those bangles now. She has accepted those bangles. So next day, again, Radharani appeared to him in the dream, and Radharani was wearing those bangles in the dream and she was dancing.
अंगना में डोले रे
सभी ताली
छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले रे पाँव में पयलिया बाके छम छमा छम बोले रे पाँव में पयलिया बाके छम छमा छम बोले रे छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले सभी गाइए छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले रे मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरो नाम रे मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरो नाम रे मीठी मीठी बोले को तो मीठी मीठी बोले को तो लाला मेरो नाम रे मीठी मीठी बोले को तो लाला मेरो नाम पाँव में पयलिया बाके छमछमा छम बोले रे पाँव में पयलिया बाके छमछमा छम बोले रे छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले रे छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले रे जय हो सभी भक्त बड़े प्रेम से दोनों हाथ में गले में जब बोले राधा कृष्ण मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरो नाम रे 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 हंस के बतावे वो हंस के बतावे वो बरसानो मेरो नाम रे हंस के बतावे वो तो बरसानो मेरो नाम रे ओ गाँव में पयलिया बाके छमछमा छम बोले रे गाँव में पयलिया बाके छमछमा छम बोले रे छोटी सी किशोरी छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले रे जय हो मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरी ससुराल रे मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरा ससुराल रे मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरी ससुराल रे मैंने बात पूछी लाली कहाँ तेरी ससुराल रे शर्मा के बोले मोसे शर्मा के बोले मोसे ससुराल रे शर्मा के बोले मोसे नंदधाम ससुराल रे ओ पाँव में पयलिया बाके छमछमा छम बोले रे पाँव में पयलिया बाके छमछमा छम बोले रे छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले छोटी सी किशोरी मेरे अंगना में डोले पूछी लाली ओम तेरो घर पाल रे मेहरबा से पूछी लाली ओम तेरो घर पाल रे मुस्कुराई के बोले मोसे मुस्कुराई के बोले मोसे श्याम मेरे भरताल रे मुस्कुराई के बोले मोसे श्याम मेरे भरताल हो गाँव में पगलियां बातें चमचमा चमकोले गाँव में पगलियां बातें चमचमा चमकोले जोगी देवी जोगी जोगी किशोरी बोले अंगना में डोले
Tomorrow onwards, I'm gonna sit inside. I won't come outside. Because a very beautiful description of pastimes going on, and I intervene. So, what should I speak? Or whatever you feel like. So, either whatever you want to say. So, I have the free hand to speak. So, I can speak the entire Govardhan Leela.
चक्षुरमृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः गुरुवे गौरीचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तदुभक्ताय नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। एक बार सभी बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। जोर से बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवत जी की कथा
The wonderful Nectarian pastimes and narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have entered into the 10th canto, and in that 10th canto, we have discussed the pastimes of Krishna's birth along with Srimati Radharani's birth. In a very wonderful mood, we have narrated that and heard who is Srimati Radharani. She is Sarva Ahladni Shakti, the one who gives the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. It is mentioned in scriptures that it is impossible to speak Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days. That's just not possible. It's in the 3 hours. 1 hour goes to Kirtan, half an hour I take, and Maharaj is not left out with too many minutes. So how is it possible he can speak these Bhagavatam in 7 days? It has to be 24/7, and even in that 24/7. And then one has to be of the caliber of Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami. And in that same parampara we have come in the Bhagavad parampara. We have heard from Srila Gurudev. We were just hearing the glorification of Srimati Radharani. In the morning at a house program, there were some devotees who were there. Many of them who were not there. That amongst all the blessings, one should only ask one blessing. So once there was a daughter. So those in Faridabad, I speak this particular example so many times. Once there was a girl who was not able to see properly, who had some eyesight problem. So the family would complain that, oh, she is not going to get married. And the Pandit, one priest, he said that if she follows the fasting of Lord Shiva each Monday, then she would get a nice bridegroom. So when she fasted, Lord Shiva got pleased, and when Lord Shiva appeared in front of her, and then she said, first, give my eyesight back, and then also make me get married to a nice bridegroom, and that person should be very rich. Then Lord Shiva said, I haven't come to give you all these boons. I've appeared once, so I'll only give you one boon. So, with thorough concentration, she said, okay, if you would like me to summarize one boon, as if she was doing a favor in Lord Shiva. And then she said, oh, I would like to see my grandson riding on top of elephant, eating sweet rice in a bowl made of gold. So he said, who rides on the elephant? The king. So all the wealth comes under the jurisdiction of king. And who eats sweet rice in a bowl made of gold? The one who can distribute gold. So Lord Shiva said, oh, you're very tricky. With one boon you have asked everything. However, there's one shloka where all the boons are asked. There's one particular shloka.
बड़ी विस्तृत व्याख्या है।
There's a very expanded elaboration. So if I start speaking, if I start elaborating, 7 days would be less.
तो यदि कोई पूछा जाए कि
So-
एक ही श्लोक में भगवान से सारे वर मांगने हो तो
So if someone asks that if we have to, then a Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks this one shloka.
अभिमानं परित्यज्यं प्राकृत वपुरादिषु श्री कृष्ण कृपा गोपी देह ब्रजे प्रसाम्य हम राधिका अनुचारी भूतवा पार के रसे सदा राधा कृष्ण विलास।
So this one shloka, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur is summarizing all the boons.
ठाकुर जी एक श्लोक पूरा कर दो
And so
और यहाँ से लेकर वहाँ तक की सिद्धि सारी प्राप्त।
right from where we are till the pinnacle of Braj Bhakti is asked. So what is the meaning of this shloka? It starts with Abhimanam Paritajya, means, Hey Prabhu, that whatever false attachments I have with this body, that I am a beggar or I am a king, I am a man or a female, a male or a female, I am a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, all these designations, Brahmachari, Grant, Sannyasi, all these designations which are related to the body, all these designations, please make me free from all these false identification. Mahaprabhu says, Naam Vipro Nachanarpati, that neither I am, that I don't belong to any one, I don't belong to any ashram, neither I am brahmachari, nor I am a vanaprasthi, nor I am grihastha, because all these are false identification. These are all identification of this human body. However, in this shloka, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Abhimanam Paritajya, please make me free from all sort of false designation. This is the first thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this particular shloka. And then Krishna said, okay, fine. Is there anything else you ask? Then the devotee said, yes, well, this is just the first part of the shloka. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur has summarized all the blessings and all kind of boons in this one shloka. So first, make me free from all this false designation. So one time, Srila Gurudev, I think Mathura or Vrindavan, I can't remember properly. But Gurudev was saying that in Vrindavan we see that there are many subtitles and subtitles are attached to the name of the Guru. Yes, in order to give respect, for sure, we must add these big titles. But then there's one upadhi, there's one title which should, and if that, you see, the moment we say Nitya Leela Pravisht, in front of our Gurudev we say Nitya Leela Pravisht, that means our Guru has entered into the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So no other designation, no other titles are required. Because this is the essence of all sort of titles, all sort of designation. Because the one who has entered into the eternal pastimes and has had the great fortune to serve Radha and Krishna in the eternal pastimes, that is the essence of all sorts of blessings. So in this shloka, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Abhimanam Parityajya, that please make me free from all sort of false identification. And the second desire is that by the mercy of Krishna, by the mercy of Krishna, I receive a gopi deha, the body of a gopi, the eternal body of a gopi in Braj Mandal. So, hey Prabhu, by your mercy, I get the body of a gopi in Braj Mandal. In order to receive the eternal body like gopi is not an ordinary thing. Who can have this? Even Sri Lakshmi Ji is also doing austerities in Braj Mandal, just across Yamuna in Belwan. Even she still hasn't had the opportunity to have that form of gopi, but then those who have accepted the shelter of Srimati Radharani, they have accepted, they have received the Municharis, Shrutichari Munichari, all the Shrutis and all the branches of the Vedas in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam that the branches of the Vedas have sung, have praised, have sung so many praises, have sung the glories of Srimati Radharani and other gopis, that under the guidance of the gopis and Radharani, these branches of Vedas, they also want to have the association, they also want to have the form of a gopi, and by the mercy of Srimati Radharani, they got the eternal body of a gopi. And in the pastime of Lord Ramchandra, we see those munis who were in Dandakaranya, those who were chanting the Gopal mantra for thousands of years, and they saw the beautiful form of Sri Ramchandra, and they were enchanted and wanted that Lord Ramchandra's. She was in Treta Yuga, but not this Treta. It's just this Treta Yuga, which this is the 28th Chatur of Lord Brahma. But then in the 24th Chatur Lord Ramchandra, he appeared. So just imagine how many lakhs and lakhs of years have passed by. But then these munis, they chanted the Gopal mantra, and then they've had the association of, and then they have Vastu Siddhi and Sarup Siddhi. They attain eternal perfected identities and bodies, and entered into Brajmandal by receiving the body of a gopi. And actually Gurudev would stress upon this point so much, that how many thousands of years you have been chanting. Because Gurudev would ask this question many times. How many years have you been chanting? 15-20 years we have been chanting the names. And we think that, we can easily attain the body of a gopi, and we think that we have the opportunity to be a gopi. But then this is like artificial gopi. Means it's not that easy to enter into Brajmandal. It's not that easy to attain these high positions in the eternal land. It's just before attaining these eternal bodies, one must give up all sort of identification, all these false identifications which we have been carrying for a long time. Once we cross over, and once we get free from all these false attachments, then we can have the association. The Shrutis have had the opportunity. The branches of the Vedas, the Munis, they received the eternal bodies only under the guidance of Srimati Radharani. They have received such great benediction. So, by the mercy you gave. So the second blessing was, and then Krishna said, "Is there any other blessing?" Then the devotee said, "Yes, there's another." Radhika Anuchari Bhutva, that I would like to become one of the followers, the one who follows in the footsteps, or the maid servant of Srimati Radharani. In this material world, no one wants to accept anyone's servant. We all want to become a master. We want to become a master of all of our situation. No one wants to become anyone's servant or maid servant in the material world. However, because in this world, this is the adulterated form. This is because it's a perverted reflection of the eternal world. In the eternal world, that same identification, that same true ego, that I am this pure servant or the maid servant of Srimati Radharani, everyone is desiring that. So there's a song which is very famous in Braj, that there is a wonderful devotee, he is singing and offering his prayer at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, that my only prayer is that I become one of her maid servants. So these are the desires, and with this mood we should cultivate our bhakti. So isn't this an identity? Yes, that's also an identity, but these are not false identities, the temporary identities. But these are not temporary identities. These are permanent identities. That I am the maid servant of Srimati Radharani. We have been told by the acharyas that we should not have any desire. We should be free from all material desires. He said, because we see that all the people who are desiring for material wealth and gain, they're never satisfied, they're never at peace. And we see that the devotees of Krishna, they are peaceful. But actually the irony is that we haven't seen any Krishna devotee who is peaceful. Ironically, I am saying this. Because all of our Acharya Parampara, all of our Acharyas are so much eager to serve that they haven't taken rest even for a fraction of a second in their lives. So, when I say they're not at peace, I just try to understand the deep meanings, because they are so much of they have so much of restlessness in their life, because they're so much eager to serve the devotees. So all the desires are actually against Krishna consciousness. But then But then we should cultivate desires to serve devotees. If we see all the songs which is mentioned in Gauriya Gita Goch, the songbook, we see that all these bhajans and songs of acharyas are filled with so many desires. On one hand, we say no desire, Hari Hari Bolite Nanka Binira, that when will the day come that my eyes will be filled with tears, and the tears will roll down my cheeks, and my whole body will tremor by chanting the names of Gauranga. So when that day will come, isn't this a desire? That's a desire. So all the songs we see, they're filled with desires, but these are transcendental desires. These are desires. So when we say that get free from all desires, we say that, so the Acharya said, you should turn the direction and the goal of the desires. And that goal is to take the association of Srimati Radharani. This is the essence of the Gauriya line of thought. So, and to become the maidservant of Srimati Radharani. And then the fourth boon which is asked in this particular shloka is that I would like to become Radharani's maidservant in Parakya Rasa, where Srimati Radharani is married to Abhimanyu Gop in Jawad. And in that Parakya Rasa, in order to establish the topmost supremacy of that Parakya Rasa, because Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that even in Vaikuntha such pastimes which took place in Brajmandal, these sort of pastimes cannot take place even in Vaikuntha. In fact, Krishna comes to this earth, this Mother Earth, and he performed these pastimes here. So when he performs such pastimes here, everyone gets amazed and surprised. Though Srimati Radharani is the eternal potency of Srimati Radharani, and in order to increase the bliss of the paramount love, that Radharani gets married to Abhimanyu, and that the whole Leela takes place. In this material world, a relationship with the other man is considered to be very abominable. It's not considered good. If one is married to someone and if the lady has an affair outside, that is not considered nice. In fact, it's considered very bad. However, in the transcendental world, because this is a perverted reflection, in that world, this Parakya Rasa is being accepted as topmost. In fact, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Sri Naraji, they also take the foot dust of Srimati Radharani and that rasa on their forehead. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has asked so many boons in this one shloka very expertly. And then Radha Krishna Vilaseshu, the beautiful pastimes of Srimati Radharani, which constantly goes on with Krishna, that please give me some sort of service so that I'm able to contribute. So we would be able to contribute in that eternal pastime, when we would be able to contribute in the pastime which is available in front of us. Srila Gurudev used to say that to all of his devotees, that all the devotees who have taken initiation in this line, they must take some service, they must take some responsibility. And once they serve with some responsibility, we have taken so much from our Guru Parampara, we are so much indebted, we have taken from our initiating Guru or our Shiksha Guru, we have taken so much. And when it comes to giving, what have we given so far? What exactly we have given? We haven't been able to repay their debt. And even if we don't give anything back to Sri Guru, if we don't serve them, then we would not be able to repay their debt. In fact, Srila Gurudev said that anyone who does not live a responsible life of a devotee, who does not take the responsibility in devotional life, that person is not different than an animal, because an animal has no responsibility. Therefore, in order to serve Sri Radha and Krishna in that true ego and have a particular service in that eternal Leela, it starts from here. Charity starts from here. Charity starts from home. What we have present right now, we are in Leela right now, and in this pastime, Srila Gurudev is one of the dearmost associates and dearmost sakhis of Srimati Radharani by serving him in various ways, by following his words in this material world. And we follow the line of thought of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Prabhupada and all of his associates. If we accept all the moods and thoughts, and not all, we should get complete ourselves established, not sentimentally, but in their line of thought. The words which they're preaching, 64 malas, 120 miles, 120 mala, that's all fine. But unless we are completely established in the principles of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and all four acharyas, that bhajan is supreme, that bhajan is the topmost when we establish ourselves in the line of thought of our acharyas. So that highest form of service would only would manifest in our life only when we have surrendered to Sri Gurudev. Yasudeva Parabhakti Kitha Devata Guru. The amount of devotion we have towards Sri Guru, similar in the same manner, in the same proportion, we would have love and affection towards Radha and Krishna. So the amount of attachment we have towards Sri Guru, that would reciprocate, that would automatically be transferred to the love and affection which we have for Sri Radha and Krishna, because under the guidance of that Sri Guru, everything is there. Everything is the essence of serving Sri Guru. So this was one of the specialities about Sri Guru, that he explored and made the entire world know the glories of Srimati Radharani, and he was the one who injected the desire, who infused the desire to become the maid servant of Srimati Radharani. So this Braj Leela is very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Here, Srila Maharaj has spoken, is going to talk about the various gradations of rasa. And in two places, Krishna has spoken this particular word na. Na means I cannot. In front of in front of Mother Yashoda and in front of gopis. When Srimati in front of Srimati Radharani, in front of Srimati Yashoda, Krishna with folded hand says, Naham Bhakshatava. With folded hand he says, Mother, no, I haven't eaten dirt. Please don't punish me. Please don't chastise me. So Krishna is controlled so much by love and affection of Srimati Yashoda Devi that he's with folded hands. And similarly, in the Madhura Ras with the gopis, with folded hands, he's saying that, hey gopis, with his folded hand, he's saying, na, that I cannot repay your debt. I cannot repay your debt. So in two places he has used this particular word in front of Mother Yashoda and in front of the gopis, that he cannot repay their debt. So, and in order to give that Braj Leela, all the associates of Lord Chaitanya, they have appeared in this world, and they have come to Karunya Avatirna Kalo, that Lord Chaitanya appeared in this material world to make this Kali Yuga glorious. Because what is the condition of the Kali Yuga Jivas? That their lifespan is very short, and they're very dull-headed, and that their fortune is very less, their age is less. So in this day and age, in this day and age of depletion, such magnanimous personality is expected, because when Krishna came, Krishna did not deliver or did not give. Krishna did not give the love of Godhead so openly, but Lord Chaitanya, with both arms, he's giving the love of Godhead. He's giving that the Braj Bhakti very easily to everybody, without even thinking, without even any consideration and discrimination, because Lord Chaitanya does not discriminate between qualified person and non-qualified person. He does not think that this person is mine, this is not mine. He says so, something which cannot be achieved by following the ninefold limb of bhakti, that Lord Chaitanya gave that Swabhakti Shriyam to the Kali Yuga Jivas very openly, and that is the magnanimity and the magnificent avatar. So we are extremely fortunate that we have come in the line of Lord Chaitanya. We have come in this Gaudiya Dhara, in this Gaudiya line of thought, and we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Puran ki jai.
Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, O Shri Radhe Govinda, मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। श्री राधे गोविंदा, मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है, श्री राधे गोविंदा मुझे हरि का प्यारा नाम है, श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। केशर तिलक लगाए, ओम मोर मुकुट सिर गल बलवाना, केशर तिलक लगाए, केशर तिलक लगाए। माँ वृंदावन की जगत सबको नाच नचाए, ओ सबको नाच नचाए। गोविंदा श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है, ओ गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोविंदा श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
Jai
So in this manner, Srila Shukdev Goswami, as Parikshit Maharaj was assembled along with all the other personalities, spoke about amazing, beautiful pastimes of Krishna right from childhood. Then he entered into the pastimes of Krishna taking out cows for cow grazing, and in a very playful manner, our Govinda, he killed so many demons, especially Aghasur. He killed Aghasur just before Lord Brahma was bewildered. So he spoke all these pastimes. And how Lord kills the demons, and even after killing them, he gives them liberation and gives them the topmost of destination. So those demons who are killed by Krishna, they attain liberation very easily. Therefore, we see in Aghasura Leela. So the real significance of these pastimes, if anyone who wants to do bhajan, then there are so many anarthas in the heart of the jiva. There is hypocrisy and the propensity to cheat, and many sinful propensity resides in the heart of the jiva. So all these anarthas reside in the heart, so it's not possible to do bhajan. So as Krishna killed Putana, our acharyas explained that in the heart of the jivas, the propensity to cheat enters in the heart of the jivas. So unless one has a cheating propensity, one cannot perform bhajan. So first Krishna, what he does, he kills hypocrisy and the propensity to cheat. And there are many, due to sinful activities, the heart gets contaminated. So Krishna, he killed Aghasur. He delivered Aghasur. So by this pastime, those who are sinful people, they cannot chant the names of the Lord, and even the sinful people cannot even come to hear Harikatha. It is mentioned in Adi Purana that Lord Krishna himself says that to Arjuna, "Hey Arjuna, not only one, thousands and thousands of lifetimes. It's those who have served me, and by serving me 1,000 lifetimes, when one becomes pure and their consciousness become pure, only then they can chant the name. Until and unless the sinful activities and the sinful impressions in the heart are removed, one cannot take real shelter of the Lord's feet of Sri Guru and perform bhajan." So amongst all these many pastimes, the Aghasura pastime is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And to take it further, the bewilderment of Lord Brahma comes in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto. On the first day, as our Maharaji, he indicated that Lord Brahma spoke some wonderful. Lord Brahma is so knowledgeable, with 4 heads, and with each head he speaks Vedas. When he sees the wonderful feats and actions of Krishna, even he gets bewildered. So what to speak of us? We just a teeny insignificant soul. If someone as knowledgeable as Brahma cannot understand, then what to speak of us? So to take this further, Shukdev Goswami also spoke about the pastime, so Lord Balaram. But Baldev Prabhu also killed few demons, and he made Parikshit Maharaj hear the Nectarian pastimes of Baldev Prabhu, because it is mentioned in the scriptures that Balhin Labdhya is unless we are powerful or we have the strength of the heart, we cannot do bhajan. So Balhin Labdhya means those who do not have strength of the heart, one cannot attain the Lord. So the Lord is aprakrita, he is transcendental. So what sort of strength one needs? One needs chitbal, the strength of the consciousness, and the strength of knowledge. So what is the source of that chitbal? That is, the source of that chitbal is Lord Balaram. So he is the personification deity of Sandhini Shakti. Krishna is the personification deity of Samvid Shakti. and Srimati Radharani is the personification deity of Ahladani potency. So Srimati Radharani provides pleasure potency of Krishna. That's why she is called Radha. And Maharaj very beautifully throws some light. In a very brief manner, he spoke about the glories of Srimati Radharani. So here, Baldev Prabhu, without the mercy of Baldev Prabhu, one cannot enter into bhakti. This Baldev Tattva is called Akhanda Guru Tattva. He is an undivided Guru Tattva. He is one, until unless one receives the mercy of Sri Guru, one cannot enter into the realm of bhajan. Because his Guru who holds our hand and he drags us with our shikha and very gently takes us into the courtyard of bhajan. So, the more we will be attached towards the lotus feet of Sri Guru, the more we would be able to enter in the realm of kingdom. So, the amount of nishtha and faith one has in the lotus feet of Sri Guru, one would be able to enter in bhajan and one's material life would cease to exist. So Lord Balram, he killed Dhenukasura. Our Gurudev used to speak these pastimes in a very beautiful manner. When we would go to Talvan, in Talvan, that's where Dhenukasura was killed by Lord Balram, and Srila Gurudev would recite this pastime and also would give us the secret meanings. So I'll speak in a very brief manner because the time is very limited. And Lord Balram, along with his brother and along with all the sakhas, while doing cow herding, he reached near Mathura, and by the potency of Yogamaya, the influence of Yogamaya, they actually forgot to bring foodstuffs with them. So in the afternoon, the sakhas, they were feeling very hungry. So they said, "Hey Krishna, you're the most powerful, or hey mighty arm Krishna. We forgot the foodstuffs which we bring every day. Today we're feeling very hungry, as if there are mouse. They're jumping in our stomach. We're feeling so hungry. We're getting so. There was nearby. There was a nice garden of Kansa. And there were nice fruits, and it was decorated with so many nice fruits and flowers. And there's a particular fruit called tal fruit, Talvan. That's what's called Talvan, a place where tal fruit stays. Who has seen tal fruit? It's a very beautiful, very nice, and very sweet fruit. Because even if one eats it raw, just like he said, even if one eats it dry in a raw manner, still its taste is very sweet. He said, during my childhood there were many trees, and I used to eat that during my childhood. He said, when that fruit is ripened, it becomes very sweet, and it's like. So when we remove the skin, and in fact that is also used in pitapana. You must have seen some advertisement. So that particular food is used in various kind of preparations in Bengal. So the sakhas, Krishna and Balaram said, "Let's just go enter into the forest where all these nice sweet fruits of tal." So along with the sakhas, they entered into the forest of Kansa. And as they entered into that forest was being protected by one of the demons called Dhenukasura. He was one of the associates of Kansa. His name was Dhenukasura. What is Dhenukasura? What is the meaning of Dhenu? Dhenu means Gadha. That means a donkey. And donkey is considered very foolish. So all those fruits were generally offered to Kansa, and Kansa, along with all of his friends, he would taste the fruits coming from Talvan. So Krishna and Balaram, both of them enter into the Talvan, and they saw nice fruits hanging onto the branches, huge trees. Even if you go there in Talvan, you would see some trees. There are some trees. Just for the remembrance, they have planted these trees. So Krishna and Balaram, when they entered, it was mid-afternoon, and Dhenukasur, that demon, who was an ass, he was resting, and Krishna and Balaram, they started shaking the tree. So as they were shaking the tree, there was many fruits, all these ripened fruits were falling in the ground, and it started making a noise. And then Akash said, "Who is this?" Then Balaram said, "Oh, they are your father." So the eyes of the donkey became very red, and he started making the sound of a donkey, like donkey makes a sound. So Krishna and Balaram, they were shaking. So you must have seen many donkeys. Have you seen donkey? Have you seen an ass? Yeah, everyone must have seen an ass. You see, because what an ass does, he actually he does a back kick. He kicks backwards. So Krishna and Balaram, so he was making the sound like a donkey does, and they were attacking, and that demon was attacking Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna and Balaram were thinking, Krishna was thinking that I've killed so many demons, so let's just have Lord Balaram kill Dhenukasura today. So Krishna stood aside, and that demon was attacking Lord Balaram, and Lord Balaram, he held on to the feet of that demon and twirled it in the air, and it twirled him in the air, just like you move a wheel. You move a wheel. When you move a wheel, and then after, as it twirled in there like a wheel. So when I was a child, at that time we used to perform such things. So 50 years have passed by. All these things are coming into my memory. So Lord Balaram took the held the feet of that donkey, twirled it in the air, and it threw it so far away. And when that demon fell flat on the ground, he again regained his strength and again attacked Lord Balaram. And finally, Lord Balaram, he held his hand and then smashed him right on top of that tala vriksha, that tala tree. So all the trees fell over each other, and the whole tala one got destroyed, and the demon, all sort of mucus and all sort of bad things came out of his body. So all the associates, his family and brothers and his sisters and wife and all of them came making the sound of a donkey. So they saw Krishna and Balaram, and the whole area was covered. And the whole area was covered with blood. So this is mentioned. So this is mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that after killing Dhenukasur, they left Talvan. So why Shukadeva Goswami is mentioning this pastime, that those people who are those who are so much attached to the bodies, this body is a bag of stool, mucus, blood, veins and muscles. So anyone who thinks his body to be theirs, so anyone who thinks that they are this material body, they are actually even much more foolish than an ass or a donkey. Those who think that they are the bodies. those who consider the water bodies in the holy tirthas as just a simple water body and do not know the significance. Because later on I have to also speak about Kali Mardan Leela, Krishna subduing the Kali and Govardhan Leela. Our acharyas have explained that Baldev Prabhu, he kills or destroys the ignorance. This as he represents, he signifies the darkness in our heart. This lust, greed, anger, and all these bad activities, we have been contaminated by all these demons. And what we're thinking, we consider the temporary world to be eternal, and this is our ignorance, that we consider this temporary world to be an eternal world, and we're not able to give it up. So Lord Balaram, he enters into the heart and he removes ignorance from the heart, because unless this ignorance is removed, until this ignorance is removed, we would not be able to enter into bhajan. This is the duty of the Guru, the responsibility of the Guru. By the sharp words of Sri Guru, those words enter into the heart of the disciple and removes the dense dark ignorance, avidya, smita, rag, dvesha, abhinivesh, all the sinful activities, and even the seed of the sinful activities. Lord Balaram, acting as a Guru, enters in the heart and removes all that. So, and there are many sanskars for many lifetimes. So jivas come to this material world carrying so many sanskars from previous lifetimes. So many impressions are there on the consciousness. And then as per the impressions one acts, and it's not easy to give up the habits which are generated over lifetimes. It's so difficult to remember the shlokas, but when it comes to television, we remember everything, all the episodes and all the entertainment channels. So children, they are able to remember what's happening on television, but they're not able to remember shloka, and it's not easy for them to even remember one shloka Bhagavad Gita. And if you ask them what's happening on television, they will let you know, because it's many lifetimes we've done this. We have been so much infatuated by the material pleasure and material entertainment of this world that the transcendental knowledge is not able to come in our heart very easily. So Shukdev Goswami says this and mentions this, and also our Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks about various anarthas in Madhurya Kadambini, that there are 4 kinds of anarthas in the heart of the jiva, in the consciousness of the jiva. Number 1 is Sarup Brahma, that the jiva is absolutely oblivious of his Swarupa, of who he is actually. Then it's the weakness of the heart. And the third one is the thirst for material enjoyment. And the fourth one is aparadh, the various offenses which we have. So Baldev Prabhu, he is the one who removes all these anarthas. So what is anartha? Anartha means something which is not necessary, that is anartha. And artha means something which is necessary. I go to Western world and I see that every Saturday and Sunday people go and they all when I go to the West, I see people, throw all of their waste products and all of their trash outside. So in the Western countries, what happens that people throw their trash outside, and then the poor people come and they pick up all of their trash. So similarly, we have filled our heart with so much of trash, and then while collecting all the trash, we leave our bodies. So Baldev Prabhu, he comes and removes all the trash from our body. In Bengal nowadays, everyone is worshipping Durga Puja. There is another. So in Talvan, every year I explain this. So Srila Gurudev used to be happy when I would narrate this particular pastime. During Gurudev, when I would go, I would speak this pastime. Gurudev would definitely make me stand up and speak this pastime of Shitla Devi. So in Bengal, what happens is that there is a demigod. Her name is Shitla Devi. That there's so many diseases in the body. So she is the personification deity of all the diseases. Means she gives cure. So all these demigod and demigoddess, they have a particular transport, a particular carrier, just like Mother Vaishnavi, Durga Devi. Nowadays, Durga Devi is sitting on the lion. Yeah. He says,
शेरों वाली माँ की
yeah. Yeah. So here everyone is glorifying Mother Durga because she rides on the tiger. So all glories to that who rides on the tiger. Similarly, Devi Shitala, her transport is donkey. Lord Shiva's transport is a bull. Lord Ganesha's transport is a mouse. So all of you are Pandit, you all know everything. So the villagers say that let's just worship Shitala Maya, Shitala Devi. The one Chechak. There is a particular disease called leprosy. And they're like, so there's leprosy, and then one gets feverish, and one keeps on scratching their body. So when they would worship Shitala, so when they would worship Shitala Devi, then one gets cured from such diseases. So her transport is a donkey. So everyone said that, oh, let's just worship Shitala Devi today. So what they do, they bring an actual ass, like a real ass, real donkey. Just like this before Bhagavatam, we go on procession, we go from one place to another, and we wake everyone up and invite everybody to come to Bhagavat saptaha. Similarly, these villagers, what they do, they bring one donkey, and then on the back of the donkey, they put a picture or a deity of Shitala Devi, and then they go from one place to the other, singing so many songs and singing. So everyone offers so many preparations and of so many preparation to Shitala Devi, and they also put a garland on the neck of that ass. So the ass thinks that, oh, all throughout the life no one has given me any sort of accolades, and they worship me. He said, what to speak of giving me garlands? No one has given me anything to eat all throughout the life. But today I've been given so much of accolades and so much of appreciation. So we know in India what the washermen do. What the washermen do, they wash all of the cloth, and then they put all the clothes on the back of the ass. And once the ass brings the cloth to the destination, then the washerman kicks away the ass. So the donkey is actually very foolish. So as they were offering so many food preparations, so many sweets, so many fruits to that donkey, the donkey was thinking, wow. And Bengal is very famous for sweets. So all of you, if you go to Navadvip, you must eat sandesh. You would feel really happy. You will feel really a lot of pleasure. You would forget all the sweets which you get in Delhi, because Bengal is so much famous. And the most famous sweet of Bengal is sandesh. Number one is mishti dahi, the sweet yogurt, and the other one is sandesh. So if you go to Bengal, make sure you eat these two sweets. So coming back to the past, coming back to the story, the donkey was thinking that he's being offered so many fruits and they're offering so many pranams, so many obeisances to donkey. Donkey was so surprised that, oh, everyone is worshipping me. But actually they all are worshipping the demigoddess, and they're also he says, and they're also they're worshipping the demigod, but the donkey was thinking that probably today is my birthday, because once in a year they give me so many fruit items, so many wonderful fruits and preparations. So once in a year, just like we do celebration of our children on their birthday. Similarly, the donkey was thinking that probably today is my birthday. That's why everyone is worshipping me. So donkey was thinking probably, he said, oh, but this cannot be my anniversary because I haven't gotten married. So when did I get married? I don't know. And how many she-asses I've gotten married to, I don't know either. So this is definitely not my anniversary, but definitely this is my happy birthday. So many preparations and food items and arati and so many things were offered. So our two Kirtaniyas are also in that procession, our Krishnadas Prabhu and Sundar Gopal Prabhu. So they're glorifying. So the donkey was feeling so much of pleasure and so much of honor today. And since Krishnadas sings very nicely, then he says, so he said, just like when we see wonderful Kirtaniyas, even if we do not have a nice throat, we still want to sing. So donkey was thinking, probably I want to sing too because that's my birthday. He says, it's my happy birthday, so for sure I should be given the opportunity. He said, so we have such wonderful Kirtaniyas in likes of Sundar Gopal and Krishna Das. So in that procession, the donkey was thinking that probably I should be given the opportunity. He said, it's my birthday, so why shouldn't I sing? Why shouldn't I sing? So all these things were going in the heart of the donkey. So he lifted his two legs and he started making the sound of the donkey, like heko, heko, heko. That's loud. The donkey. That's the kind of sound donkey makes. So the deity which he was carrying on his back. So that donkey became so absorbed in dancing, and he lifted both of his legs, and he was singing. So Shitla Mata, the deity of Shitla Devi, that fell on the ground and that broke, and people got so angry. Are you foolish? Why are you dancing? He said, all of our puja has gone to waste. All of our worship has gone to waste. They took a stick and then they beat him so badly and they chased him away. So the donkey was beaten so badly. That he left his body. So the essence is, why does a donkey kick backwards? He said, why? But the reason is because it's a donkey, that's why. So Maharaj Ramchandra Prabhu also speaks this pastime in a detailed manner. So Ramchandra Prabhu says that one time there was a donkey who came on the banks of Yamuna Ji. He was drinking the sweet waters of Yamuna, and everyone would come and offer him, and they would feed him nicely. And then he saw the other donkey came, whose back was all scratched. So this first donkey, he said, "Oh, you're of a god brother. Your brother. We are from the same family. Why is it that you have so many scratches on your back?" Then he said, "Oh, there is something which I cannot share." He said, "Well, my owner is a washerman. He put so many clothes in the back of my body, and he does not give me anything to eat." Then this donkey said that, "Why do you work like an ass? You just stay here. You would get nice breeze of Yamuna, nice sweet water, and people would come and give you nice sweets." The donkey was thinking, "Oh yeah, that's nice. Let me think and I'll come tomorrow." So he went back and said, "Do not think like an ass." So he went to his home and he was limping. And this time the first donkey, he saw the second donkey and said, "Oh, today you look much more worse." He said, "What happened today?" He said, "This washerman had beaten me so badly. I'm telling you again that you should stay here on the banks of Yamuna. Why do you go and serve that master of yours, that washerman of yours? Why don't you stay with me?" And he was thinking, "Oh, let me think again." So he went back to his home again, and he again came back. So this time the first donkey saw that he was in a much, much more worse condition. He said, "Why is it that your washerman beats you so badly? Why do you tolerate all this suffering given by your washerman? Why don't you stay with me on the banks of Yamuna? He said, well, there is one thing which he said, let me share everything with you. Why is it that I always go back? And why is it that I cannot stay with you? He said, my washerman, my master is a washerman. And he has a very nice and very beautiful daughter, and he ironed all the clothes. So one day what happened, she was doing the iron, and I saw that the washerman chastised the daughter because the daughter had burned the clothes. So washerman said, if you ever burn the clothes, I'm gonna make you get married to the donkey. So I've been waiting that she burns the cloth and I get married to that beautiful daughter. So the first donkey said, oh, you'll always remain a donkey. So let me. The time is passing by very quickly. It's almost 7:30. So in this manner, Shukdev Goswami speaks about the pastime of Krishna, of Baldev Prabhu killing Dhenukasura. Shukdev Goswami speaks about the pastime of Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kaliya and subduing Kaliya. That Kaliya who made the entire Yamuna water so contaminated by the poison. So Shukdev Goswami Pad says that how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he made the water of Yamuna fresh and sent it to Ramanadweep in Fiji. So nowadays people say this Ramanadweep is on the other side of the world, just about 4 hours away, 4 hours from for Australia. You take a flight, and that is Fiji. So I've been there a few times. I go there sometimes. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was very happy to hear the pastime. He was very elated to hear the pastime of Krishna subduing Kaliya. So Kaliya was very wicked. And he was full of animosity with Garuda. So in a brief manner, I'm just going to say that he was the enemy of Garuda. So when Garuda attacked Kaliya, and being fearful of Garuda, he took shelter of Yamuna Devi. Because Garuda cannot come in Yamuna, because Garuda was given the curse by Saubri Rishi. One time what happened, Saubri Rishi, he was performing his austerities in the waters for 10,000 years, and he said with his head water up till his neck, and then he saw there were so many fishes in the water, and then he developed attachment towards the fishes of the water. So one day Garuda came there, and he actually killed one of the male fishes. So the female fish, she was feeling so much separation, so she complained to Saubri Rishi that Garuda came and he killed my husband. So at that time Saubri Rishi cursed Garuda that if you come here, though Garuda is a Vishnu devotee, he cannot be cursed, but it's just a human-like pastime. In this material pastime, Garuda would not come nearby Yamuna. So that's why Kaliya had taken shelter of Yamuna, and he started residing there. Kaliya was thinking, probably this is a perfect and safe place for me to reside. So here our acharyas say that when one offends a devotee, material desires starts coming in the heart. So our acharyas say that even if one is staying in the waters of Yamuna for a long time, and 10,000 years he was performing penances, but still just by seeing a fish couple mating, he had a desire to unite with the women. So he came out of the waters and reached the kingdom of King Mandhata, and he said, I would like to get married to one of your daughters. So the the king said, if my daughters would like to accept you, for sure. But then for long years you have been in the waters, so your body has become, your skin has been withered. And so by the power of his yoga, he was able to make his body very youthful. And then he got married to all the 50 daughters of King Mandhata, and he was enjoying material pleasures. One day during the sunset, he was thinking that, that the wife said that, it's been a long time you haven't chanted your Gayatri mantras. Then those words really struck like a chord, and immediately said, for a long time I haven't chanted my mantras and I have given up all my austerities. So he went back and started off his bhajan again. So the instruction is that anyone who commits aparadh to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, then thus greed, anger and all these bad things enter into the heart of that person. So offending a devotee is very, very grave. So Kaliya started staying at that particular place, and along with all of his wives. And by his poisonous nature, the entire one particular lake got contaminated. So in order to deliver Kaliya and subdue Kaliya, Krishna was thinking. However, there is a history of Kaliya which is mentioned in Bhagavatam in various Puranas. Srila Vyasadeva has mentioned that. So, in a very brief manner, I'll tell you a history of Kaliya. There was a religious king, and while running his kingdom, he had a stomach ache. He took many medicines, however, it did not cure his stomach ache. So the king was thinking that, it's a long time I haven't been able to cure my illness. So once there was a devotee, a saint, enter into the kingdom or the palace of the king. The saint said, I know, or I can give you the remedy for your stomach ache. He said, in the garden there are two birds. So if you go and eat the meat of those two birds, then you would be able to cure your illness. As the king went to capture those two birds, but then he was not able to capture those. So then the saint said, you should not go in this kingly dress, but you should wear kanti, tilak, and you should take a dress of a devotee. It is mentioned in Shastra that those people who do not have tilak on their forehead, who don't garland their neck with tulsi, those who chant the names of the Lord, in the scriptures it's mentioned that they're much more lower than animals. They're much more lower than animals. So they're like Nararaksha. They're like demons in the body of human. So one should have tilak on the forehead. One should wear kantimala around the neck. One should have a shikha. He said, women have long hair. So men can also have a shikha. He said, nowadays the pandits don't even do Ekadashi. So there was one Pandit who was explaining the glories of Ekadashi, and he said that one should follow Ekadashi without water. So when this Pandit came back to the home and asked the wife that, give you something to food, give something to eat, and the wife said, you were just preaching that one should follow Ekadashi without water. Then the wife said, then why were you preaching? He said, the Harikatha is for others, not for us. And the wife said, no, I am your Dharmpatni. I am a wife. I'm a better half, so I would follow. So when we got married, we took a vow that I'm going to follow all the principles and we would help each other. So since you're preaching that we should follow Ekadashi Nirjala, I'm not going to cook anything today. Today in Harikatha you said that if anyone who does not follow Ekadashi, one goes to hell, one goes to Yamloka. And the Yamaraj, they beat him very badly and chastised and gave him very severe punishment. And then they put needles inside his body, and they drag that person. So the Pandit said, actually, you haven't heard the entire pastime. He said, what has happened is that so many people have been taken to hell and that instrument which is used to drag, that has become old and rusty. So even if they drag me, I won't get the pain. So we see that you see that all of our heads are being decorated with tilak. Our Lord Chaitanya said that we should have tilak on our forehead. So we should have kanthi around our neck. And we should chant the names of the Lord. So Kali was very wicked. The Supreme Personality of God, Krishna himself. That saint instructed the king that you should go in the form of a devotee to capture those birds. So he accepted the signs, the external signs of a devotee, and he was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So he just accepted, he just took the external signs of a devotee, and both the birds immediately came in the lap of the devotee, lap of the king. So the king's heart transformed. He was thinking that according to my karma, I'm facing all these problems. He said, so all the problems which we face in the material world are because of our previous karmas. So whatever problem I'm facing, it's only because of me. So why should I go and kill these two birds? So the king let both the birds go, and at that time both the birds they revealed to him that why is it that you're feeling so much of pain in your stomach? He said, because you have committed an offense to a devotee, and because of that you have stomach ache. So at that time the king said, how to get myself free? So then these two birds, he said, in the same garden itself, there's a tree, and that saint is residing in that tree. So you go and take a Charanamrit of that sadhu, and once you take a Charanamrit of the sadhu who is residing in that tree, you would get the cure of your illness. So he came closer to that tree, but then he could not see the saint in that tree. So he said that, oh, I cannot see you, hey saintly personality, I cannot see you. So you please be merciful to me. You appear yourself and give me the water, give me your Charanamrit, so that I can get free. So from that tree, there was a leg which was filled of, a leg came out, and that leg was afflicted with leprosy. She was thinking, oh, how can I drink? He said, generally, how do we? He said, when we see that the feet of the devotee is very pure, is very nice, it's very clean, what we do? We clean and then we drink it, and then we add so many things in it, we mix everything in it, and then we take Charanamrita. But the saint, his feet is filled with so much of disease. So how can I drink all this? So this king was thinking in his heart that, oh, it maybe his another leg is better, or his another leg is fine. So then he said, hey saintly personality, can you please extend your second arm? And the moment he saw the second feet, that was even much more worse than the first one, and it was. There was so much of pus which was oozing, and there were so many little creatures that were floating, and there was a little piece of skin was hanging onto the feet. So he was thinking, first he was thinking that the second feet is much more worse than the first one, and I can see the worms also floating in the blood, and there's blood which is dripping. So the king was thinking what to do now. There's so much pain in my stomach, and that's because of the offense I have committed to this devotee. And now, if I say that his feet are not clean, then that would be second offense. What he did, he cleansed his feet And then he saw that there were little worms which were floating in Charnamrit, and there was little pieces of skin also. He was thinking, oh, how can I take this? What he did, he took this, he brought it closer onto his lips, and then he put it on his forehead. This is mentioned in Puranas. So immediately there was so much of wonderful fragrance which permeated in all direction that the king was very surprised. And then that saint appeared. He said, "Hey saint, hey king, you're just acting. You're just acting. You're not accepting the water of the lotus feet. You go." And just like the snake has two tongues. Externally, you want to accept my water, my Charnamrit, but so Kali has two disciples: duplicity and hypocrisy. So you go, just like the snake has two tongues. It is mentioned in Sanskrit that externally we speak very sweet things. Oh Maharaj, please forgive me. I've committed offense to you. But when the time comes to forgive, then you show hypocrisy. Externally, you would like to accept the water, but internally you don't want to. So externally you're speaking wonderful words, but inside there is poison. So you go and take birth as a snake. So then he held on to the feet of the saint and said, Hey saintly personality, I'm a conditioned soul. And at the heart of the saintly personalities is like a butter, and it starts melting. So he said, you go and take birth as Kaliya, and then in Dwapar Yuga, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, would come and he would dance on your head. So when he is going to place his lotus feet on your forehead, on all of your heads, until till the time the snake, there is sun, moon, and all these stars are present. Everybody is going to remember your glories that Krishna danced on your forehead. So that same king, he actually appeared as Kaliya, the snake Kaliya in this lifetime. So in order to fulfill that promise, Krishna was thinking, well, let me deliver Kaliya today. So Krishna was thinking, let me just decorate the head of Kaliya with my footprints. So thinking like this, Krishna, he entered into the Kaliya lake, and as he jumped into this lake, and he was thinking to deliver him. It's a long story. In just a brief manner, I'm just going to explain this because the time is very less. So at that time, Lord Balram, he did not come with Krishna on that day for cow grazing. So when Krishna jumped into the water, which was filled with so much of poison, all the suckers, they fainted on the banks of that lake. And then that Kaliya wrapped Krishna in his coils. Because Krishna can become smallest to smallest, and he can expand himself to become the most largest. So what the snake did, he wrapped Krishna in his coils, but Krishna became so small that he slipped out of the coils of Kaliya. So as Krishna was playing, so in the end, Krishna, he was dancing on the heads of Kaliya, and such beautiful dancing, such exquisite dancing. There were thousands and thousands of heads of Kaliya. Sridhar Maharaj sings Tandav Gati Mundana Nachat Girdhari, Tandav Gati Mundana Nachat Girdhari, Pam 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 Bhagavat Pam 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 Bhagavat Pam 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 Chandika, Bin 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 Vinatikar Nagva Duhari, Bin 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 Vinatikar Nagva Duhari, Tandavagati Mundana Nachat Girdhari, Tandavagati Mundana Nachat Girdhari, Nachat Girdhari, Nachat Girdhari. It's a very beautiful Kaliya. That's how Krishna subdued Kaliya, and all the Nagpatnis, the wives of Kaliya, they prayed to Krishna, and wonderful prayers were offered. There's one wonderful shloka which they mentioned that All the wives, they offered their prayers to Krishna and said, "Hey Krishna, yes, we know that our husband is wicked, and that sort of husband should not live. However, once he dies, will become widow." It is mentioned in scriptures that those who are inimical of Ramchandra, inimical of the Lord, then one should not remain with that person. Prahlad Maharaj has rejected his father, Bali rejected his guru, Bharat Maharaj has rejected his mother in Ram Leela. So we see that those who are inimical of Lord Ramchandra or the Lord, what is the point of staying with such family members? That's how the Kaliya's wife said, that what is the point of staying with such husband who is not a devotee? He said in his life he hasn't performed any bhajan sadhana. He's very wicked, he's very cruel. He must die. That's the perfect justice. But then your lotus feet are not even achieved by even great personalities like Lord Brahma and Lord Shivji. But then, and even Sri Lakshmi ji is also desiring to have the touch of your lotus feet, but she is desiring to have the touch of your lotus feet, and in fact to receive the foot dust of your lotus feet. But such a wicked personality who hasn't performed any bhajan, how is it possible that you dance on his heads? You decorated his head with the footprints. So this wonderfully beautiful prayers are offered by the wives of Kaliya. So Shukadeva Goswami narrated this pastime. However, our acharyas give a very deep meaning. It doesn't really matter how the person is. By the association of the devotees who are the wives of Kaliya, sometimes these wives of Kaliya, they would speak the pastimes of Krishna to Kaliya, and because of that, his fortune risen. But then Kaliya was very wicked. Just like it's mentioned in Ramayana that Mandodari, the wife of Ravan, Mandodari sometimes would say that, oh, Ram is the supreme personality of Godhead. In Ramayana, Tulsidas says this, Raman smiles and laughs. He said, "Hey Mandodari." Raman said, "Hey Mandodari, Ram is a beggar. You're actually glorifying me. Because I'm the one who became victorious and who triumphed in the lower planets and the higher planets. That's why I'm feeling pleasure." So Ravan is wicked. Ravan is very cruel. So sometimes Mandodari would explain the pastimes of Ramchandra to Ravan. Similarly, the wives of Kaliya would also explain the pastimes and narrate the pastimes of Krishna to Kaliya. But there was so much of blood which was coming from the mouth of Kaliya. So in order to fulfill their duty towards the husband, Kaliya had developed some respect for Krishna. He said, even if a wicked person has had the association of a devotee, then their heart transforms. So in the prayers of Kaliya, it was the association of the wives. That's how his heart transformed. Because it's mentioned in scriptures that all the scriptures glorify that just a momentary association of a sadhu doesn't really matter how wicked one is. One attains the association. One heart gets transformed. Though Kali is very wicked, but the Bhagavad Bhakti, but then his wives were inclined for Bhagavad Bhakti. His wives were inclined to Krishna's devotion, and by that association his heart changed. So this is the association of sadhus. So that's in the end, Kaliya, when he was remembering Krishna, then Krishna ordered him to go and ordered him to leave Yamuna, and then he went to Fiji. And then Kaliya said, if I leave Yamuna, then Garuda would come and he would kill me. Then Krishna said, well, Garuda is my servant, he is my devotee, he is my associate. He said, I have placed my footprints on your forehead, I have decorated your forehead with my footprints. So when Garuda would see my 19 footprints on your forehead, he is not going to attack you. So at that time, Krishna, those lotus feet which are rarely achieved or which are desired by the great personalities like Lord Brahma Kalia went to Ramanaka Dvipa, Ramanaka Island, and after this, Sri Shukdev Goswami, he spoke about the pastime, another pastime which he spoke about, and that is, Shri Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says that amongst all the pastimes of Shri Krishna, Ras Leela is topmost. But before Ras Leela, he performed two Leelas. These are like Ati Manviya Leela. That means it's not possible by any human beings. You see, we run nowadays, there's so many gods in the world, but if anyone who can perform these two Leelas, we will accept that person to be God. Number one is Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kalia, and second, Krishna lifting Giriraj Govardhan. These are unprecedented pastimes, transcendental pastimes, which cannot be done by any human. So before doing Ras Leela, Krishna performed these two Leelas, and that led, this was kind of a platform that led Krishna to perform Ras Leela. In Vishnu Purana, it is said that Lord is endowed with the 6 opulences. The conditioned soul nowadays, they get very attracted towards chamatkar. So nowadays, the conditioned souls, whenever they see some magic tricks, they get infatuated, and then they consider any ordinary human being who can perform some miracles to be God. But the Shastras say that those who are endowed with the 6 opulences, they're the ones. Those are absolutely complete in these 6 opulences. Like Lord never gets old. Lord never has beard. Have you ever seen Lord Ramchandra lived here for thousands of years, 11,000 years? For 11,000 years, he only performed the fire sacrifice. But then, have you ever seen the old form of Lord Ramchandra? Krishna lived here for 125 years. Have you seen the older form of Krishna? Have you seen beard on the face of Krishna? No. Why? Because they always remain youthful. So you must understand it very clearly. If I'm not going to speak, nowadays there's so many gods who are roaming everywhere. Because Lord is always beautiful. Lord always remains youthful. He always remains in his youthful age, and he's able to maintain that all throughout. So we should not consider everyone to be God, as there's a fashion nowadays. So now Shukdev Goswami made Parikshit Maharaj hear the beautiful pastimes of Govardhan. In this world, there's so many demigods. All of them are the servants are the associates of the Lord. They are the servants of the Lord. It is mentioned in the scriptures that Hari is the topmost. Hari is topmost. Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. That Hari is the supreme. And all the gods and demigods as we see, all of them are the servants. All of them follow the Supreme Lord very obediently. We should not disrespect anyone. We should not disrespect anyone. They say, some people say, I'm a Krishna devotee. Why do you worship Kali? And we should not criticize those people who worship other demigods. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that we should not hamper anyone's faith. He said, by the mercy of the Lord, one's consciousness would develop. He said, so we should try to encourage people who are worshipping demigods. Let me just speak a very brief story. He said, there was a very miser person. He would never give anything. He would never give anything in charity. There are many people in the world who earn a lot, but they have so much of wealth, but they never give anything in charity. And they do not even spend on themselves. They don't even wash their clothes, because that would take so much. That would take soap. So they would not even wash their clothes nicely. They're very miser. So these miser people, they buy. So that person's name was Danchand. Dan means charity, and Chandra means moon. The one who is the moon, one who gave us so much of charity. But the nature of this person was absolutely opposite to his name. So So on 14th, on the day of Makar Sankranti, on 14th January, so in Mathura, during Makar Sankranti, every 14th January, Srila Gurudev and Shri Kunj Bihari Prabhu, Gurudev would make preparation, Gurudev would prepare khichdi, and then Gurudev would send us out, and they would go and they would ask us to get bhiksha, especially khichdi. So the Brajvasis would give so much donation to us. They would potatoes. They would also give us onion. So sometimes we saw that the Brajvasis would also give onion. So I'm not lying. So sometimes Brajvasis would also give onion. So Gurudev would prepare preparations, and Kunj Bihari Prabhu, he would do the aratis. From 8 o'clock in the morning, Gurudev would send all the brahmacharis outside and ask us to get bhiksha, and we would bring so much of khichdi. So all throughout the year, we would be able to run the mutt, because our Keshavji Gaudiya mutt, we did not even have a fan at that time. He said, you would not be able to believe. He said, you know, we used to bring so much of dust of Yamuna and would sleep on the dust of Yamuna by sprinkling water on it to keep ourselves cool. In India, that miser person's wife said that, let's just go to Ganga Sagar, the ocean. Then the person said, no, I'm not going to go, because if I'm going to go, then there's so many pandits there, so many pandits, they would come and they would ask us so much money. So finally, the wife convinced him. So both the husband and wife, they walked like 25 kilometers that led them to the ocean, where so many people were taking bath, and there were so many pandits who were asking for donation. So on the main ghat, on the main bank, there was a place where dead bodies are burned. So they went there, and there was no pandit there. He said, that's the perfect spot, because no one would ask money. So there were many dogs. So even the dogs were barking at the person. He said, these dogs are barking at me. So they went to that place where the bodies were being burned. So he took 3 dips. So as he came out of the water, he saw a pandit. He saw a pandit asking for donation. Actually, that was Lord himself. Lord took the form of the pandit. So Lord said, in the form of the pandit, he said, all the pandits, they take, they make a lot of money by going to different banks. But I have been given this place where no one comes. So no one has come to take bath on this side of Ganga. So anyone who comes to this ghat must give me money for the entire year. So he said, how much money should I give to in donation? The Lord said, 60,000. He said, 60,000? He said, no, I can't give that much. He said, okay, let's just give him money for 6 months. He said, how much that is? He said, give me 30,000. He said, if you go to Mathura and Vrindavan, they would make you sit in the water of Yamuna, and immediately they would put things in a hand, and then they would circulate the same mala and same coconut from one person to the another. Because these pandits, they don't even spend one. They're very clever, and they're able to influence people how to take money from them. So they're very clever. If you go to Mathura and Vrindavan, the moment they see that someone has come from outside, so they know how to influence the person in giving donation. So they start off pretty high, and finally they're able to extract some money from the new people who come. So then this miser person, he was not willing to give anything to this pandit. So the Lord was thinking that probably he's not going to give anything. He said, if you don't want to give anything, if you don't want to give, no problem. I can give you. I can give you something. If you're not interested in giving charity to me, I would be happy to give you something as a loan.
इससे आधा उधार ले जाओ, मैं तुम्हारे घर में जाकर लेकर.
He said, you can take money from me right now as loan, and then you can return to me later on. So this person said, okay, you can give me 1 paisa, that's like 1 rupee.
फोन जाएगा ये, और उस समय तो ये नहीं था, मोबाइल
So he was thinking, oh,
आपको जीपीएस ने क्या लगा दे.
I can take the loan. I'm sure he's not going to come to my home because it's 25 kilometers away. I mean, I stay so far away. He's not going to come and get his money back. So let me just take money on loan from him. So he took 1 rupee from that pandit who was Lord himself as a loan. So he was very tired because he traveled a lot. He came back to his home and then he bathed, and then the wife offered him nice prasadam, because he was so miser that they would not even apply ghee on the roti, and they would not even use ghee or oil to make potatoes because he was so miser. So he was Lord himself, because Lord can walk anywhere. He said, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho. So Lord appeared immediately at his house and he was knocking at his door. So then the wife said, who are you? He said, is this a house of Danchand? He said, yes it is. He said, is Danchand inside? He said, yeah, he is inside. He said, he has taken some money from me on loan. So the wife said, oh, has the Brahman come? Has the Pandit come? He said, yes, that Pandit has come. He said, oh, just to take it, 1 rupee has come so far away. Danchand was thinking, okay, you just tell him that Danchand is sick, and when he gets well, he will return the money. But Danchand was thinking, oh, he's not going to come back again. Wife is also like this. Wife was cooperating with the husband. So she said, Danchand is sick. Once he gets well, then he can come back again. Lord is very clever. Lord was thinking, oh, that I'm a Brahmin. That, oh, he's sick. Because actually there is a relationship between me and him. I'm Brahmin and he's like my son. So if he is sick, I cannot return. Unless he is well, I'm not going to go. So he said, arrange nice fruits for me. So the wife informed Danchand that this Brahmin is outside and he's not going back. He's asking me to prepare fruits for him. Then he said, go tell him that, oh, actually he is sick. But then now you tell him that Danchand has died. The wife is saying, how can I tell him you're dead because you're alive? So he said, oh, wife said, what if he comes inside? He said, oh, even if he comes inside, I'm going to hold on to the breath. So wife was very cooperative, and the wife was cooperating. She started crying, she started acting in front of the Brahman that, oh, my husband has left body. So Brahman was thinking, oh, Danchand has left body? Oh, now I won't get my money back. So Lord, in the form of the Brahman, he informed all the villagers that Danchand has left body, and all the villagers came. So Lord now, he took the form of a doctor and he checked his pulse. Lord knows he's alive. Even Lord was acting in accordance. Yeah, right, he's dead. Lord knew he was alive. And then the wife said, no, he's not dead, he's alive. He's not alive. And the villager said, oh, no, he's dead. Let us take his body and set him on fire. So they carried his body, and then they took his body to set it on fire. And he was holding on to he was so miser, and that he was holding on to the breath, but he was not willing to give 1 rupee back. So Lord was thinking that I haven't seen such a miser ever in my life, that he is able to even give up his life. He wants to die. The Lord said, oh, he's my son. Let me do all the ritual all the ritual activities. So Lord, Danshan was Danshan. He said, "Hey Danshan, I'm not an ordinary personality. I'm Lord Himself. Even Dhruv and other devotees would like to have my darshan. I'm not an ordinary Brahmin. I know that you're acting." Danshan was thinking, "Oh, he's right. Let me open my eyes and see whether he's whether he's Lord or whether he's Lord or he's Brahmin." He opened his eyes. He saw he's a Brahmin, and then he again closed his eyes. Then Lord said, "Oh, open your eyes. Why did you close your eyes?" So he kept on opening his eyes and he kept on closing his eyes, and then Lord said, "I've killed so many demons, but then I haven't seen a miser like you ever. I have defeated so many asuras and demons, but then I'm defeated by your miser nature. You're so miser that not even giving me 1 rupee." So at that time, Danshan opened his eyes and he saw a 4-armed form of the Lord. And he said, whatever you ask, I'll give it to you. Then the Danshan said, "I have taken 1 rupee as a loan from you." Then Danshan said, the Danshan said, "Please make me free from the loan which I have taken from you." So he was so miser. He said he's ready to even leave for 1 rupee, but he's not willing to give anything to the Lord. So the essence which I'm trying to say here is that when Krishna, during lifting Tulsidas is saying by Madanai that Tulsidas writes in Ramayana that whenever one receives a higher position in the world, one becomes very puffed up. One attains a high position. Even if the sannyasi, one feels that, oh, he's so great. So Tulsidas says in Ramayana that even after receiving such little position in the material world, one becomes very puffed up. So Krishna was thinking that Indra, in Brahma Samhita it is very clearly mentioned that by the mercy of the Lord, that Ganesha called Siddhi Vinayak, from where Lord Ganesha receives the power to give perfection to his devotees. He says so when Lord Ganesha, he pays pranams to Govinda, so at that time Govinda gives blessings to Ganesha, and that's how Lord Ganesha gives blessings to his devotees, because all these demigods are not independent, they're completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. However, sometimes even demigods feel very proud. So Indra was feeling very proud that Krishna was thinking, because Indra was acting like a king, and all of the Brajvasis who are eternal associates of the Lord, all of them are eternally liberated personalities. They have become his citizens. So the associates of the Lord are not ordinary. The friends, the mother and father of Krishna, they all belong to the eternal. So they are the manifestation of Swarup Shakti. They are the expansion of Swarup Shakti. In fact, it is mentioned that they are not different from the Lord. So, but then Indra here, he was acting as a king, and all of these Brajvasis were acting as his citizens. So in order to give pleasure to Indra, they made so many preparations. So in the morning, Krishna woke up and he was saying, "Hey mother, what's happening?" Mother Yashoda, they were preparing so many preparations. Then, water. So when Krishna saw so many preparations were being prepared, so then Krishna approached his father that every day Mother Yashoda takes me in her lap and makes me feed very nice preparations. But what happened today? Mother is not even letting me get close to the door of the kitchen. What's happening? What is she preparing for? Nand Maharaj said, "Hey Krishna, today we are going to do puja of Indra, and Indra is going to get pleased."
समस्त ब्रजवासी लोग जो इंद्र पूजा के लिए अनेकों प्रकार
So today all the Brajavasis are going to prepare wonderful preparations, many sweet preparations and many wonderful items for Indra. So Krishna was thinking, oh, and this Indra is very wicked. I mean, he's making the Brajavasis surrender to him and he's accepting service from them. Krishna was thinking, hey father, who is this Indra? Why are we worshipping him? Nanda Maharaj said, Indra is the king of the heaven, and when he is pleased, then he gives rain, and when he showers rain, and then there is green grass, and when there is green grass which is eaten by the cows, and then immediately and that transforms into various milk products. So in order to give pleasure to the Indra, we're going to perform this yajna, this sacrifice. So Krishna was giving so many logic to father. He said, Father, that there's so many places, there's so many places where rain takes place. But then, is there anyone in the ocean or is there anyone in the forest who is doing worship to Indra? No. But still there's so much of rain takes place there. So this logic seems to be incorrect, that when one worships Indra, only then one gets rain. So Krishna was giving so many reasons. So Krishna says in the scriptures that only by my directions, the wind, it permeates in all direction. And as per my desire. So everything is happening by the influence of time. So these demigods are also controlled by the karma. So you see this huge Giriraj Govardhan. Giriraj Govardhan is very huge, and then what it does, it holds on to the clouds, and then because of these clouds, which are held by these peaks of these mountains of Giriraj Govardhan. So Krishna gave so many wonderful logic, and though Krishna is small, but he was giving so much of wonderful siddhanta, and then there was a meeting which was called by Nanda Upanand and other senior members of Brajmandal, and then they consulted themselves, and finally they accepted the words of Krishna that this year we should worship Giriraj Govardhan except Indra. He said, why not worship Giriraj Govardhan except Indra? So Nanda Maharaj announced that, and all the Brajvasis, instead of worshipping Indra, and all the preparations which were made to worship Indra, all of them was offered for Giriraj Govardhan. So all the wonderful preparations were offered to Giriraj Govardhan, and then Krishna himself, he was standing next to Mother Yashoda. So Krishna said to Nanda Baba that, have you ever seen Indra come and accepting your items? But you see Giriraj Govardhan is going to come, and you would see from your eyes that he accepts all the preparations made by you. He said, it doesn't really matter whether Krishna is small, because all the Brajavasis said, oh, because at the time of his name-giving ceremony, the Gargacharya said that Krishna's qualities would be equivalent to Narayan. So at that time, in one form, Krishna was acting as a priest, and in the other form, as Giriraj Govardhan, Krishna expanded his hands, and he ate all the preparations and delicacies prepared by the Brajvasis, and the Brajvasis brought another set of items for Giriraj Govardhan, and Krishna saw that all the Brajvasis were very happy, that, hey Giriraj Govardhan, please be happy, please be pleased with us, because then at that time, Giriraj Govardhan, he drank the waters of Mansi Ganga, and then later on, by his inconceivable potency, whatever he ate, and then Giriraj Govardhan gets satisfied. He says, see, Giriraj Govardhan has eaten everything in front of you, and he's also giving his remnants. So Krishna said, hey, we're going to accept the remnants of Giriraj Govardhan, and we'll do the parikrama of Giriraj Govardhan. So Krishna made Brajvasis do the parikrama of Giriraj Govardhan, and by singing and dancing, we're just going to stop here. I'm just going to take 2 more minutes because it's pretty late. So So all the Brajvasis, they went back to their homes. Here Indra got really angry. He was with his wife Shachi, and he was drinking liquor. Sura. Somras. So one of the associates of Indra, he came and said, "Hey, everything is destroyed." So what happened? A little child has convinced all the Brajvasis, and instead of worshipping you, they're worshipping a stone. Indra was very angry. He was very furious. He said, "I am the king. They must worship me." It seems like that probably it's a wrong news which you have gotten. No, it's not a wrong news. I've collected it from the right source. That they are worshipping. They're worshipping Giriraj Govardhan, they accept you. He said there was a little boy, little blackish fellow, he was able to convince all the Brajvasis. He said, this year they're worshipping a stone. Indra was with eyes became red. He was very furious and he was fuming. He said, oh, these Brajvasis are old, but they do not have any intelligence. Let me just cut the root. So let me just destroy the entire Braj and remove the entire Braj from the map. So all the clouds which are generally called the time of destruction, he called all those clouds were called which are used at the time of destruction. So all the Samvartan clouds appeared in the sky, and there were very heavy thunderstorm and hailstorm came, and then all the Brajvasis came to Nand Maharaj, requesting, praying to him that please save us from this wrath of Indra, because Indra was very angry. So at that time, Krishna, he considered in his heart that, oh, Krishna, he was just rubbing his eyes very casually. He said, don't worry. Today, Giriraj Govardhan has come in my dream. And he said that, you go, hey Krishna, you lift me. Then I said that, how would I be able to lift you? Then at the Giriraj said, you just come closer to me and just put your finger. And I'm actually going to become very soft, like a lotus petal. So Krishna, all the Brajvasis accepted the words of Krishna, and then Krishna touched Giriraj Govardhan and lifted Giriraj Govardhan like an umbrella on his head. And all the Brajvasis, they took shelter of Giriraj Govardhan. They came underneath Giriraj Govardhan. And they were singing. And Krishna on his little pinky, on left hand, he was lifting Giriraj Govardhan for 7 continuous days. And these clouds, which are generally used in a time of destruction, they were showering torrents and torrents of rain, but not even a drop was able to affect. So then after 1 week, Indra sent one of his associates and said, go and check what's happening to Braj. So, then Indra was informed that nothing has happened to Braj. Braj is intact. Brajvasis is singing and dancing. These Brajvasis are singing and dancing, and there's a wonderful festival going on. So all those gopis who were looking to have a direct association with the Lord, all of them having a direct association of Krishna for 7 continuous days, all the sakhas were thinking, oh, do not think, Krishna, that you're lifting Giriraj Govardhan by your own effort. We are helping you too. Don't you see that we have put these sticks underneath? So Mother Yashoda was looking at Krishna's beautiful face and thinking that, oh, Krishna hasn't eaten for 7 days. So Mother Yashoda wanted to feed Krishna. So as Krishna took off his finger for a fraction of a second, and as Giriraj Govardhan was coming down, all the sticks started breaking, and then Indra came, and he saw the unprecedented pastime of Krishna lifting Giriraj Govardhan. Indra went to Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma said that, oh, I also committed offense to Krishna once. So what you do, you go to Surabhi cow, because Krishna loves cows. So then Indra, along with Surabhi cow, he went to Surabhi cow, and then he paid pranams to Surabhi cow, and with folded hand he said, let's just go together, and because seeing you, Lord will get pleased. So then Lord said, hey Indra, you should not commit any such offense in the future. So by bringing the waters of Manasi Ganga, he performed the Abhishek of Krishna at Govindakund. And when he worshipped Krishna at Govindakund, and that's when he named him Govinda, the one who gives pleasure to the cows and the one who nourishes the cows. So this beautiful Giriraj Govardhan. So I'm just gonna rest Harikatha here. Giriraj Maharaj ki jai.
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज भैया तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। तेरी माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। तेरे तेरे कानन कुंडल सोहि रहे। अस्तल वैजंती भाग हो महाग तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहे। अस्तल वैजंती भाग सब नाचो नाचो प्रेम से तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहे। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज ओ महाराज